Hi everyone, welcome back to the House of Joseph. If you're new here, I am Joseph. Lovely to meet you, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Now then guys, in today's tutorial video, learning experience, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be having a look at Marilyn Monroe. Yes, I said Marilyn Monroe's makeup primer. So if that sounds like something you guys want to find out more about, stay tuned. Marilyn Monroe is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful women that's ever walked the face of this earth, isn't she, guys? And she was actually a creation by 20th Century Fox, the Hollywood movie company. And Marilyn Monroe was born as Norma Jean Baker in 1926, I believe it was. And I'm a huge, huge fan of Marilyn. I've seen all of her films, and I obviously haven't got any of her bits and bobs because they're really, really expensive, and I just couldn't afford to. However, digressing, get back onto subject now, man. Okay, will do. Right, so without me waffling any further and talking to you about the history of Marilyn Monroe, I'll just talk to you about what she actually used on her face. Now, Marilyn had the most beautiful, translucent, milky, sort of glowy skin. She did suntan because she lived in California. However, she used to apply a thick layer of whatever I'm going to show you in a minute to her face at night time. And it was such a versatile product, I guess, that she would use it then as a makeup base, or her makeup artist, a chap called Whitey, would use that as a makeup base. So I won't prolong the anticipation any longer, guys, and I'll show you what Marilyn Monroe used to use. So she used to use just plain petroleum jelly, or aka Vaseline, on her face. And this I guess because we'll try it in a minute, and I'll try it on one half of my face with the Vaseline, and I'll apply a layer of foundation too, and then I'll apply the same foundation to the other side, but without the Vaseline. And the one thing I have noticed about the videos I've been watching on YouTube that are to do with Marilyn Monroe's face primer and her use of Vaseline today, as opposed to the 1950s, is the fact that every single one of them has said how dewy and fabulous the skin looks using Vaseline. So that's what we're going to be trying today. And Marilyn and Whitey both favoured many, many different type of cosmetic companies to use on, to construct the beautiful, famous face that we all know and we're all familiar with today. Including Max Factor. She was particularly fond of a particular foundation from a company called Anita of Denmark. Again, if I can find images, I'll put them down here. And you can still buy Max Factor today. You can still actually buy Anita of Denmark's foundations and all of the stuff that you could buy in the 1950s. I don't know whether they've been reformulated. Possibly they have been. However, I've just been watching a video of a woman trying Anita of Denmark's foundation, and the one sticking point she had with it is the smell, of course, because these, if the formulation has remained unadulterated for nearly for over 70 years, in fact, in the 1950s, I guess their priority wasn't elegance of formulation or particularly pleasance of use or pleasantry of use, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, I do know what I'm talking about. It's just, me as usual, trying to get my thoughts out and making them as lucid as possible. So without any further waffle, should we get some of this one on my face? Why not? I guess the first question, guys, is how much Vaseline do we actually need to use on our face? So should we just apply a smaller layer first and then build up? Why not? Let's try that. So without any further ado, we'll open him up. And that's my pot of very well used Vaseline. I use this in a lot of my skincare formulations. So here I've got about well, there's not very much there at all. It's probably about the size of, I don't know. You can see that, and my fingers and my hands aren't that big. But so I think what we need to do is to warm it up first. So I'll just blend that between. Oh wow, it does. It's got a very, very, very greasy feel to it. However, it just melts into your skin. So I'll just apply some of him onto these old choppies. How are you all doing, guys? You all okay? This morning I logged into my account with the Institute of Makeup Artistry, and I need to just clean fingers, getting a bit anal about Vaseline and greasy stuff everywhere. I just can't stand grease. Do you know what I mean? I logged in, and I've started the course proper now. So and there's a question. I think a lot of it's questions and answerings, or answers even. So yeah, okay, right. So on the skin, it doesn't feel tacky, and that's really, really surprised me, guys, because I thought that, that as soon as you touched it, it would start to, adhere to your fingers and it would start pulling your skin around, because it's a really, 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 it's like axle grease. It's really, really oily and really greasy. But no, I think it's just made my skin feel ever so slightly moist and, yeah, greasy, I suppose is the word. However, because my skin is normal now, I used to have really, really oily skin, and I'd never, ever in a million years about to apply a thick layer of Vaseline, maybe 10, 15 years ago. However, as I've aged, my skin's normalized, and it's basically just normal, sometimes dry, sometimes a little bit oily in my T-zone, but Right, okay, stop talking about your skin and its propensity towards oiliness or dryness and get on with slapping foundation on that face. Okay? Okay. So J-cloth's at the ready, soaked J-cloth, because this is going to get really messy knowing me, guys. So should I apply it on this side first as the unadulterated side without Vaseline? Because if I go in this side first, I'll be picking up Vaseline on my brush and then transferring it, and that won't give us a true what's the word, a true test, will it? No, it won't. So okay. Right, beautiful ones, that's got you in a little bit closer. So I'll load some of this onto the back of my hand, shall I? And this is in shade F5, I think it is. Hang on, sorry. Oh no, filthy liar, F4. Right, so, and as you can see, it comes in a, and I'll link my my review of this one into the description. And should we use quite a bit of this? Why not? This is a cool toned Clumsy Joseph, or Calamity Joseph Strikes Again. So can you see that there? And that's and I'll use that just on this one side of this old chops of mine. So right, how are we going to do this? Again, not an octopus, so it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. I'm doing this all arse about face, guys. Right, because I do need to apply this with obviously my right hand. So just move you back a little bit if that's okay. I'm feeling a little bit claustrophobic. No, it's just that there's not much room at all to swing a dog or a cat, so I'll have to move you out. Okay. So this is a full coverage foundation, guys, by Makeup Revolution, a British company. And their makeup is astounding. It's really, really, really good. Not the eyeshadows aren't that good quality, but the foundations, concealers, you know, and ancillary products, or backup products as I like to call them, are just amazing. So not as good as some of the stuff like Collection or Essence, you know, the other brand that I'm going on about, I'm falling in love with big time at the minute. But you know, I think this bottle of foundation costs something like £8 or £9, which just means that you'd be able to kit out your entire makeup artist's kit for, you know, a lot less than if you were using premium brands all the time. And as you well know, guys, I don't believe in spending out money on. So obviously there's going to be one or two things which I will need to spend money on when my training progresses. However, I'm going to have to do it on a budget until I start earning money, and then obviously, okay, right. So beautiful ones. This side is the side with the Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation, full cover foundation in shade F4. This side is the prime side, and there's nothing actually on this side other than, oh wow, it doesn't really absorb as much. I suppose if I had really, need to dry fingers again, sorry. I suppose if I had really, really, really dry skin, it would be a totally different outcome. But as I said, my skin's quite normal, so and you can definitely feel there's something on your skin. Do you know what I mean? And it does feel pretty heavy and a little bit occlusive, but then again, that's what it's for. Do you know what I mean? This side is totally dried now, guys, totally. And I suppose it does give my skin a little bit of a sheen, doesn't it? It's not flat, and it's certainly not cakey. And, you know, considering it is a full coverage foundation. And all that's done is it's just united my my skin tone, which is what you want. Let's bring that down onto the old neck and maybe put some into the old ears as well, because obviously you've got veins and stuff in your on your ears, haven't you? So right, let's get some on this side, and what we're looking for is that glow that I've seen other YouTubers going on about. So just using loads of this stuff. Why not, eh? Why not, beautiful ones? Why not? So again, guys, there's the foundation, and I'll just get some of that on this brush. And I haven't washed this brush between applications. There's no need really. Okay, I might just have to work that in with my finger, because I don't want a great big dollop of foundation wherever I put the first where my brush touches the skin is going to be, obviously with that tip, that foundation on the tip, it's going to look really, really obvious. So I suppose we could blend it in though, couldn't we? Right, shut up, man, and get on with that. Okay. Right, I'm telling myself off again. Right. I suppose what I'm looking for here is to see why Marilyn actually, or why she actually adopted using Vaseline in the first place, as opposed to just using the foundation straight out of the pot. Does that make sense? And, you know, if this utterly transforms the look of this foundation, and I've used exactly the same amount on each half of my face, you know, this could be a way forwards for when, you know, for when I become a PM, you're a professional makeover. Sorry, madam, I'm just going to apply a thick layer of Vaseline to your chops before I slap loads of foundation all over you. Is that okay? Well, how do you reckon that'll go down? Like a cup of cold sick, I reckon, don't you guys? Yeah, I do too. Right, so just tidying up my eyebrows, guys. Obviously they're jet black, aren't they? And the foundation has clung to them as usual. So this side is the side with the, oh wow. Falling in love with this one again, guys. Yeah, okay. Oh wow, look at that. Can you see the reflection here and the glow it's given my skin? And it doesn't feel greasy at all now that I've put the foundation on. Obviously because the foundation will have some form of powder in it, because just to offer it that longevity of wear. However, the powders have absorbed some of the Vaseline now, and but wow. Can you see this side? This is the side without the Marilyn Monroe primer. This is the side with, and wow. Okay, can you see that reflection? It's the same on this side, but obviously this side, it did it very, very rapidly or very readily without me having to. This side's very, very slightly more subtle, isn't it? Whereas this side's full on, what's the word? Strobe. Yeah, it's very strobey, isn't it? Right, I'll just come back out here. So I might have to move you out back a little bit, guys. Sorry. My bad. Do you know, guys, I think we could be onto a winner here. I really do. I mean, look. Wow. That's just, I mean, look at the light, which is just, can you see how it's catching on my, you can see that, I know you can, how that's catching. And if I turn my head, it's given my skin a very, very, very subtle sort of satiny sort of sheen, hasn't it? Whereas this side, although the foundation isn't flat at all, it has got a very, very slight reflection to it anyway. But with the Vaseline, oh, wow, it just feels incredible on the old skin, guys. So you see this smile on this 50-year-old face, guys. It's because this has worked, and stuff like that just always, always, always pleases me. A little bit sad, but hey-ho, that's just me. Joseph Sad Man. Loving that, guys. Wow. So we have now transformed a full-on, pretty matte, pretty demi-matte, I guess you could call it, full coverage foundation and concealer in one into the most beautiful, glowing sort of natural, ultra. It's not sheer. It's still covered up all of the imperfections or imperfections on this 50-year-old face. However, can you see the light? It's just awesome, guys. Wow. For how much did I pay for this? Something like, could have been $4.99, possibly a lot less. And I got this from Savers. And again, I'll link this into the description. But this is going to be a new staple of mine in my beauty kit without a shadow of doubt, guys. Because Vaseline is an anhydrous product, meaning it has no water in it at all, and this foundation is a silicone-based foundation, that means that these two will rub along very, very well together. And that also means that, you know, as well as blending very, very well together and imperceptibly on the skin, it will last very, very much longer than if we'd gone in with this one and this was a water-based foundation. In fact, I don't think the two would have worked at all, but so beautiful ones. In today's tutorial, I have put a 73, possibly 70-year-old plus beauty hack onto my face, and it has really, really worked. So it's standing up to the test of time, isn't it? I mean, wow. Just looks like my skin, only much, much better. So if it's okay with you, beautiful ones, I won't do a wear test today. I've got jobs to do and I need to go out into town. However, I'll put a day aside and definitely do a wear test, because obviously we need to find out how long this baby lasts for on this old face, don't we? But that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. Similarly, do consider subscribing so you're kept abreast each time I release new videos. And all it remains is for me to wish you beautiful ones a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Lots of love.